Welcome to our journey through the history of mathematics. It is a count of two stops. The first one will be in ancient India and the second in Greece. We hope you enjoy the adventure and learn from it. See you at the end and check if it sounds to you.
Welcome to the first part of the exhibition, the mathematics in the ancient India. It is very probable that you have listened or studied very little on the mathematics in this epoch. But do not worry, I am sure that at the end of the exhibition you will be surprised. We have grouped this part of the work in 4 points and we will penetrate on them later. Now, we recommend you to stop the track, to read the geographical and historical frame, and when you are prepared, a rather special character will be waiting for you to start guiding by this visit.
Hello, I am Aryabhata. Possibly do not know me, but don't worry, we will talk about me later. The beginnings of the mathematics in the antique India we can locate in 3000 BC minus 2600 BC in the civilization Harappa, though there are mathematicians who postulate that it appeared in the century 7-8 BC, in the Vedic period. Before the century 4 BC, the Hindus had some contact with the Greek world. The march of Alexander the Great on the India took place in this century. On the other hand, the expansion of the Buddhism in China and that of the Arabic world multiplied the points of contact of the India with the exterior. In a beginning it was in use for calculations in the trade, for measuring the earth and for predicting the astronomic events.
As an important mathematician, we can say 3. Aryabhata. He was an Indian mathematician and astronomer, born in Pataliputra, India, in the year 466. He is the oldest writer of algebra, housework, Aryabhayam, according to other authors, Aryabhatiya. It contains a synthesis of the mathematician known in this time, in much of the Greek original studies of geometry and spherical trigonometry are carried out. The first astronomical studies and 30 theories of flat trigonometry, algebra, and arithmetics are listed. Brahmagupta, he worked as a mathematician as well as an astronomer in India. He set rules for arithmetic with negative numbers and was the first to define and used zero for calculations. The formula of Brahmagupta, which allows to find the area of any quadrilateral given the length of the sides and sum of the angles, bears his name. Bhaskara II, also known as Bhaskara Sahara, was an Indian mathematician and astronomer, known for being the creator of the quadratic and resolvent formula.
Undoubtedly, the mathematics in the ancient India contribute innovations. They modernized mathematics and the conception that was had of them. We emphasize a series of fundamental contributions. The negative numbers used and belief in the zero. There owes to them the transcendental invention of the positional notation using the number zero as a void value. Now then, what is the positional notation? It is a system of numeration in which every digit possesses a value that depends on its relative position, which is determined by the base, which is the number of necessary digits to create any number. An example of positional numerations is the habitually secondant decimal system based on 10. There will be needed 10 different digits which will have to be constituted of a symbol 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, though they were using a decimal system, it neither was positional nor was possessing the zero, which was transmitted to Great West later for the Arabs across the medieval Spain and Italy. The multiple practical and theoretical advantages of the system of positional notation with zero, developed by the Hindus, gave the definite impulse to the whole later development of the mathematics.
They were applying the geometry for the construction of religious buildings. This remained reflected in the Sulba Sutras, texts that indicate the rules and procedures in the construction of altars. It was the perfection of the altars, the one that would give them the favor of the gods. As curiosity, the Sulva Sutras do not contain demonstrations, only rules of how they have to be constructed, perfectly symmetrical. In addition, in these texts, a form appears for the theorem of Pythagoras, for comparison of sides. In the photo, we can see a plane of an altar in the shape of falcon, construction with 7 squares and way. 4 form the body of the falcon, 3 were used for both wings and the tail. Finally, every wing was getting longer, with the 5th one of a square and the tail with the 10th one of the same square. Each of these squares took a purusa at every side, unit of equivalent measure at the height of a man with the elevated arms. Also, apart from these 2 innovations that we have just mentioned, there are other 3 that also must be outstanding. They accepted like valid the rational numbers. They penetrated into the often rule of resolution of linear and quadratic equations. There are archaeological evidences that indicate that the Hindus were using system of base numeration octal and had one value brought near for number p. We emphasize the manuscript Bakshali as curiosity, text that contains the most ancient record of the number 0. It is composed by 70 pages of bark of birch. Previous investigations had concluded erroneously that the text was dating back to the 8th century. Now it is known that the leaf in which one refers to the 0 dates back to the 3rd century. It is written in Sanskrit. One thinks that it was a practical manual for the merchants who were trading along the route of It-her-Sedates. It includes exercises of arithmetic and something similar to the algebra, besides solutions of linear equations with up to 5 mysteries, the solution of the equation of the 2nd degree, the arithmetical and geometric progressions, the compound series, the quadratic indeterminate equations, and the simultaneous equations. He supposes a discovery of vital importance for the history of the mathematics. The text was found by a patient in 1881, buried in a field of settlement called Bakshali, in what now it is Pakistan. Later, it was acquired by an academician expert in the Indian culture that took it to the United Kingdom in 1902.